Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. I have two Joven mezcals. Oh yeah, I have to update the ABV. Sorry about that. Del Maguey is, I'll show them to you in a second. Del Maguey is 40% alcohol, and this Rayu is 44%. Thought I was forgetting something. It's like, am I forgetting something? Max Volt says, hello, Ron. Hello to you, Max Volt, in the Russian Federation. Now, here is Del Maguey Vida. Single village mezcal comes from a village in the state of Puebla, Mexico, and it's produced for Del Maguey Mezcal Company. They said in 2010 they adopted this program, single village program, because they didn't have enough capacity at their own distillery to keep up with demand. So it was an interesting way to farm it out to other people by letting them sign up for the program, and each village mezcal area, little independent mezcal area that signed up, they would get credit for it, put their NOM on their number of origin in Mexico is what it means. Okay, so this is the Puebla, and it was $32.99. Can't remember where I bought it, but it looks like every store I've seen it at, wherever I've seen it, it's always about the same price. Except there's one store I went to Thursday, the price was exorbitant, and I thought, nah, skip those guys. Now here's Rayu, Joven, Maguey, Espadín. They're both Espadín mezcals. That's their type of agave they use. Espadín is a common type. They show the picture of their master distiller on the bottle. This was introduced 4 years later in 2014. Don't know much about the company actually, but it's imported by Pacific Edge Imports in California. I don't think they own it. They just people that handle the importation of it. Okay, but anyway, yeah. So I think I'm not sure about the fact of if these are independent companies or are they owned by a bigger company, and they kind of like keep that on the silent side. They don't want to talk about it. It's possible. Sometimes it's very hard to track that. Sometimes it's not hard, and sometimes it seems like it's impossible. But the main point is, does it taste good? Not really who owns it. Although it is interesting to find out, but doesn't always work out. All right, this one has a rubber stopper, not a real cork, black rubber, but it's synthetic rubber. Okay, like neoprene. All right. Will I be able to tell these apart one from another? It's possible, and I don't think it'll be based on flavor, because I think they're going to taste pretty much the same. I think if I tell them apart, it'll be solely on one is 44% alcohol and the other is 40, and I might be able to pick up that slight uptick in alcohol. Otherwise, I don't think they're that different. Price point, like I said, $32.99 for the Del Maguae Vida Puebla, and this one I got for $28. I think it was $28.99, $4 cheaper. But that was years ago, like maybe 6 years ago. Wasn't like the other day, maybe 5 years ago, something like that. I don't know. I lose track, but it wasn't recent, and it's a liter bottle. So I don't know the price now. I could check Total Wine if you like. May as well. They're both clear, Joven, so they're clear. No aging, just filter, distilled and filtered. Oh yeah, the Vita's 2 times distilled. Got to put that in the notes. 2 times distilled. The Rayu, not sure. So they're kind of like agave vodka, I guess you could call them, but got a unique flavor. So we'll do the screen share. Del Maguae Vida Puebla. They say artisanal methods. Roasted underground, naturally fermented. So it should say local environment, left off the L, local. Twitch distilled, it's twice distilled. So yeah, there's when we were doing Fandango Friday last night, we saw typos in Diageo, which is inexcusable, but it's the truth. All right, so there you go. There's cocktail ideas naturally. Rayu. Okay, they're both twice distilled, so I'll update that. Tohono wheel pulled by a horse. So that wheel that goes around is pulled by a horse. Underground conical oven, typical for mezcal. The agave is grown for 8 years. They use a copper pot, and they only sell it in a liter bottle. So they got all these tasting notes that I never can pick up. You can read that if you want on your own, because like I said, I never can. I just don't pick that up, a lot of that. And I'm not accusing them of exaggerating it or being deceitful or phony. I'm just saying I don't pick it up. Those kind of things I just, they'll say rose hips, mint, and all, and sometimes they'll say chocolate, and I'm like, I don't taste that at all. Okay, could be a deficiency in my end. I'm not disputing that. And these companies have tasters that can, that's all they do. That's their job. So they have a real mindset geared toward that. Let's look up Del Maguey first, see if they carry it. May not even carry. I'm talking about the Puebla. Yeah, there it is. $36.99. Okay, so the price has gone up. Well, I told you I can't remember where I bought it. I don't even think it was this place. So they're charging $36.99. No use looking at Walmart because they don't carry mezcal at all. They used to, but I guess it was a bad seller. It just didn't move, and so they cut it. And the only one they had was Sombra. Then they just got rid of it for $15. And I took to that. I never saw mezcal again. Winn-Dixie mostly does not mess with mezcal. You might find one bottle like a Casamigos. Same thing with Mathern's over here. So now there is cheap liquor / easy stop because it's two stores, but they're owned by the same man. They probably do have a good amount. I don't know if the price would be competitive. But we'll see one day. Let's see if they stay in business. See, they don't have Rayu here. So they don't carry it. I see it around, but I don't see it everywhere. Like usually store carries mezcal, they'll have the Casamigos, like a huge brand of tequila, but they got a sideline. And they'll carry Monte Alban very often, which I would not recommend. But then you start getting an illegal is common, but then you start getting off the grid, so to speak. And then they will maybe not carry it. Because like I say, mezcal is not hugely popular. Now you might say, yeah, but it's so much more popular than 10 years ago. It's really boomed. Yeah, booming from nothing though. You're going from like minuscule sales, and usually years ago it was just people buying the one with the worm in it. It's kind of a novelty piece. Party thing, and maybe the quality was not so great. But these serious mezcals, they don't ever have the worm in it. It's really a caterpillar is what it is, a larva. So, these stores are not going to super stock mezcal if it's going to just sit on the shelf for a long period of time. I mean, Total Wine is a big box beer, wine, and liquor store, so they'll have a whole mezcal section. But I think it's called tequila / mezcal. So it'll be shelves and shelves and shelves of tequila, maybe a whole aisle, and then there'll be that one little section of mezcal. Makes sense. But you have people that are into it, like I guess you could say me, because I got a bunch of them, right? Over the years, just accumulating, buying one every 6 months or even less than that. All right. Let me update my notes real fast to make it more coherent or concise. Both are 2 times distilled. 2 times distilled Joven Espadín mezcal. Okay, that'll sum that up. All right, now we'll go with the tasting, the smelling and the tasting. I think you're supposed to say the nosing if you're like a real deep speculative mezcal person or whiskey person. You don't say, I'm going to smell it. I'm going to nose it. Yeah. Smell like the same old thing. The same old thing. Agave nectar. Smoke? Nah. No way. Not in the aroma. That's almost a neutral aroma right there. Which can't be bad because neutral is just nothing. It's just in the middle. Same. So appearance, clear, like vodka. And so that's a tie. Aroma, basically neutral. Not much, well, no difference that I can detect. And so that's a tie. Price. Per ounce, probably virtually the same. So that's not really a consideration. So everything's a tie right now. Taste. Get a little smoke in the flavor. Smoke, soil. I wouldn't want to drink dirt or eat it, but there's something about it that in there. People say earthiness, though. It sounds better. Succulent plant, pina, agave, yeah, all that. Have I tried pescador? No, I haven't. Tab. Never heard of it till you just mentioned it. So yeah, is this what I would call a standard mezcal flavor? Yes, a standard Joven Espadín mezcal flavor. It's just nothing elaborate. Oh, a Parish beer. Man, I'll tell you, it looks like Parish puts out a new beer every week. So I just don't keep up with it. You can't. But then they kind of all taste the same in a lot of cases. So that's kind of frustrating. I know around the United States, Parish is like the thing, right, for the last few years. And people make videos, and I watch them all, and they're very effusive, just love it. They're just going on and on about how fabulous it is. But I don't think that's really the case in Louisiana these days, because I just see Ghost in the Machine just sitting on shelves, aging. And you want to drink an IPA fresh, right? But it'll just be on the shelf, in the cooler, bottle, can, doesn't matter. Just be stuck. Occasionally somebody will come in and buy it. West Coast Ghost, man, that was supposed to be a hot thing, and they overstocked it. And your typical people ran and bought it. I bought some, but they were running to buy it. But then after those people came, that was it. So I don't know. It's sort of like the fanfare has ended here. Talking about here now, around the whole country, that seems to be different. Tends to be pricey. I said already that they tend to taste very similar one to another. We've complained about that, but then we get a lot of bad feedback. Like, you're not supposed to say it. Like, you can't. If you say that, oh, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know. I do know. I know what these things taste like. Well, Jay, it's because you guys are spoiled. Yeah, saturated with stuff, really. There's more beer in Louisiana than there's beer drinkers. You see the problem? There's too many brands chasing too few people. It's hard to get a good New England IPA in most states. Yeah, I've noticed. There's a lot of ho hum ones, you know, but it's like very repetitive. And you can't ever really say, oh, it's bad. I don't like it. But it's just not thrilling. To me, this is me. Other people are totally thrilled by these things. Heady Topper, Heady Topper, Focal Banger, Ghost in the Machine. And I'm not seeing the amazement. Something's going over my head, or it's like I'm not grasping it. Like you told a joke and I don't get the punchline. I was like, I'm like, what do you mean an earthworm? And it's like, don't you get it? Don't you get it? And I'm like, no, Yeah, some smoke, maybe more. Earthiness, maybe more. Medium body, both, yeah. Dry in the finish, yeah, I would say so. A little pepperiness, I think that's correct. Now, knowing how difficult it is, I have 2 wins and 1 loss in this series, right? And whatever the score ends with, it ain't going to be a great score. Is if it finishes like 8-8, I wouldn't have a problem with that. 8 wins, 8 losses. Why would I? Because these are all tasting the same to me, or essentially the same. So other people might say you don't know what you're doing. I can do this. I can do it. I can tell each and every one of those categorically, one from the other. But we'll make the videos though. I'm not saying that. Talking about it is good, but do it. Let's demonstrate it. Well, no, I'm busy. Okay. I think I'm on to it. Left hand, I think this might have a little higher proof. Now, 44% alcohol versus 40. That's not exactly a major difference, It's a little difference. 88 proof versus 80. It's a difference, but it's not that different. And it's like beer, this one's 5%. This one's 5.4. That may be a hard thing to do, telling those apart if they're similar in all the other ways. Now, if it's 10%, the other one's 5, well, yeah, you're going to get it, You nail that one. Boy. So which one of these would I buy? I would absolutely go unit price. They're both exceptionally good. Definite A. Like if you went to an A-, you would have to explain that to me. I would really have to understand what you're talking about, because you would have me very confused. I cannot imagine going lower than an A. I'm talking about straight up A. It's most excellent. A- just into excellent. I don't get that. I don't see it. I don't understand it. I think you're looking for faults that don't exist. So if I'm given the choice between these two and I'm buying, I'm looking at unit price. Whatever is cheaper per ounce, I'm grabbing it. Because there is no other thing to choose. Now you say, oh, I'm big into alcohol. Got to have my alcohol. Well, okay, then naturally you're going to go with the higher proof. You're not getting much more, but it's a little. And if that really means something to you, then okay, go ahead. Means nothing to me. Once again, personal preference means nothing to me. Not disparaging other people where it means something. I know some people, when they drink a whiskey, it's only barrel proof. That's all they, full proof or barrel proof. That's it. Those things just gag me. I think they're so strong and they just terrible to me. To me, terrible. But those people, that's what they wanted. And like I always tell people, why don't you just drink what you prefer, right? Like drink what you want to drink, not what other people telling you what you need to drink. So they might look down on me and say, you're just an 80 proof guy. Also, all you want to drink is 80 proof. You're weak. You're worthless and weak. Be a man. Well, I like 80 proof, okay? Uh, then a friend of mine tells me, well, you could get the barrel proof, just add water to it and bring it down to your level. And I'm like, well, yeah, but then that defeats the purpose of it. Because why would I pay? There's no sense to that. I'm going to pay an upcharge for barrel proof, water down. Or why not just buy the water down? It's $20 cheaper, there's got to be some sense to it. Now, when I buy the weed killer, I get the concentrate because it's cheaper per ounce, and I just put the proper amount in the jug, which is only like 3/4 of an ounce, or maybe it's an ounce and a half. I can't remember. And then I fill it with water, and then it's ready to go. Well, that's different, but I'm not talking about that right now. We're talking about liquor. Okay. So I'm going to say with no confidence, honestly, but with hope that this is the Rayu just because it seems a little stronger. And it is. So that, like I said at the beginning, now I didn't go against what I said at the beginning of the video. When I started this challenge, what did I say? I believe the only thing that's going to help me tell them apart one from another is that proof. As minimal as it is, I might somehow be able to work through it and pick it. And I did. Now, could it just be chance? I mean, it's 50-50. So you flip a coin, you got a 50% chance of guessing right, heads or tails. That's true. That has to be taken into account. But you watched the video, hopefully, and you could see I wasn't basing it on one, trying to really think through it. All right. So 2 great products. I love them. And I got so much left. So we're talking about years, God willing, if I live that long, I could these taste challenges are so slow. I don't mean the video. Well, that you could say that too, maybe, because I don't rush. But the whole series, it takes a long time to just slowly progress through it. Each style, or I'm sorry, each class, and then class whiskey, that's a class. Canadian whiskey, a different class, which actually the same class, whiskey, that's an overarching class, and you have subtypes. But and then brandy and gin. Well, I don't really mess with gin, but brandy and rum and so forth. So you turn your back, and it's a year going by. It's been a year, but you didn't really go through that much. Just slowly progressing. Okay, which is I'd rather do that than rushing, being a bum rush. What would be the purpose of hurrying anyway? It's like there's no end game. It's not like there's some quest. I'm not on a vision quest. Like there's some great goal I got to achieve. There is no goal. The only point of it is, can I do a blind taste test between similar products and tell them apart? Yes, sometimes, and many times no. Okay. Which originated with with people arguing with me mainly about beer. That they could tell it, I know my brand, whatever brand it was. But then I don't think you really do. You just used to drinking it, but could you really tell it apart? That's the question of the hour. I don't do beer taste challenges too often because then, you're stuck with 2 full beers and you're going to drink them and not going to waste it. It's more problematic, it's more of a problem. Where with the liquor, it's just little bits, a couple of ounces here and a few ounces here. You just slowly, and then, you don't have, I got to go put it back in the fridge and then got to drink it the rest of the day. Because I do control the beer drinking. People ask me this at least once a month, more usually multiple times a month. how many do you drink in a week? You know, or how do you pace yourself? Because they'll tell me they're running into problems, like they don't stop. Yes, that is very bad, or potentially very bad, or most likely very bad. So I try to follow a practice: 22 usually beers per week. On the high end, 24. Seems to work out. Not too fattening, not too much alcohol. It's just a slow pace. And when I do the taste challenges, it violates the pace because it's just confused. You know, I still want to do my craft beer reviews and sometimes non-craft beers, like those crazy flavor malt beverages, which I never really enjoy, but they do score high, assuming you want to drink a beer that tastes like strawberry soda pop. But that's another world. But yeah, so liquor is a good item for this. It's just so workable. And like my friend Paul says, and he used to join us for hangouts all the time, but he say he can't really because the children, he's got all these children and they got all these things they have to do, and they're not going to give him any chance to do it anyway. They'd be knocking on the door saying, hey, let's do this. All right. So, you know, he's, you know, maybe when they all in college or whatever they're doing, he'll do it. But he said, in his opinion, liquor is a much better value per ounce than beer because you don't have to, you can leave it in the bottle for years. It's not going to go bad. You know, you don't have to drink the whole thing in a day. It's not going to go flat. So it's just, and I agree with him. Now, do I prefer beer over liquor? Well, yeah, personally, yes. I'm not really a liquor drinker. I'm a taster with these taste challenges. Beyond that, I never drink it. Now, people will tag me on that, and they'll tell me, you know, I've had people like confront me, say, you know, when you get home from work, you have a cocktail or you drink some liquor. Honestly, I don't. If I did, I would admit it. I wouldn't be ashamed of it. I'm just telling you the truth. I'm not going to pretend like I'm doing something I don't do. I don't ever drink liquor aside from a taste challenge like today, or doing a solo video review or a duo, or like Fandango Friday when we showcasing a product. That's it. Now, maybe that doesn't make me a cool person, and you say you all nerdified, you want to do all this like nerd stuff. Oh well, that's all right. I don't mind. So cheers to these two mezcal brands. Strong recommendation for both. Negatives, 0. Positives, 100. You know what I'm saying? It's like all good and no bad. Tomorrow, God willing, I'm going to try to do another taste challenge. Well, with another mezcal. I mean, they're going to keep coming in, and then when we finish, we'll move on to rye whiskey. Y'all take care now. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching.